we like to work by ourselves too much, and we wind up crippled. My back hurts. I've got bad back right now, and it's just all them years of, I got to shoe one more. I got, and it's easy to just shoe one more. It's just one horse, it's like, I'm here, I'm set up, might as well do that one more. And what happens is you wind up hurting yourself on that last horse. Your back, you feel your back is numb. Right back there, you're numb. And you're like, yeah, I feel like I can do one more. And then when you get home later that evening, you're like, man, maybe I shouldn't have done that last one. You need to have a quitting spot. When you say, okay, I've had enough, my body needs to stop. Well, just working with Kirk and Jim, and I just found it's so much more efficient to have a team of guys to go out and shoe horses, because you can change positions of what the job is, and you can give your body a break. So the fitting guy, he gets the most break. He's standing upright and he doesn't have to bend over. Clinching is the worst on your back, because you're not just bent, you're here, and that angle is what hurts your back, I think. And I think we all need to take care of our bodies more than we think we should. We're all pretty much young, but I think later on that's going to hurt. So I started taking on apprentices, man. I started, after they got where I could trust them and really make them efficient to my business, I found that I could shoe more horses just simply because my body didn't hurt as bad and I had more energy. And then I trained my brother-in-law, and he started with me. He went to horseshoeing school, and then he apprenticed with me for 3 years. And then once he was done with that, and then I pretty much treated him as an equal, and we would trade. I'd trim for a while, and he'd fit, and then we'd just switch roles. And I found that 2 equal farriers can shoe 3 times the amount of work. So if I can shoe 5 horses in a day, if I add him, we can shoe 15 and be done quicker and still feel good at the end of the day and a lot more money. And then we incorporated an apprentice. Well, that blew me away, how fast and how many horses we could do with 2 full-time guys and even just somebody that can just pull and clinch. And when that came in, I was like, okay, now we got a system. That's all you need. You need 3 guys. You need a floor man, a pull and finisher, and a fitter. And I think the floor man and the fitter can swap roles, and then the pull and finisher guy, he's still kind of learning, and he needs to pull and finish for about a year, and then then in his mind it starts working. Okay, I see how this works. I see, start picking up feet, and he can learn a lot just by clinching feet to look how the feet are trimmed and how they're fit. He can see fit. He gets the final look on how the fit is. And then when he starts into the fitting, that's burned into his mind what you're wanting to achieve. So the way that we do business is if we pull up to a stop, the only way it's efficient is if you can get 3 horses out at the same time. If you can't get 3 horses out, you might want to maybe reroute those horses to when you're going to be by yourself, or have them come to a shop where they can all 3 get out, or have them haul to another place where you can get 3 horses out. So if you got a couple backyard horses and they don't mind trailering, say, hey, can you meet me over here? And we would do that quite a bit, and it seemed to work. So what we do is, to make it efficient, we would sit in the truck and we would think, okay, how can we get through this stop really efficient, really fast? I said, okay, well, let's delegate. Okay, I'll fit, you trim, you pull and finish. Okay, but even better than that, okay, what are we going to do when we get there? When the truck gets there, okay, the floor guy and the finish guy, first thing they do is they run and go get the horses and get them tied up, or if the owner's there, she goes and gets them, whatever. And pull and finish guy doesn't unload the truck. He gets the ball rolling. He's on the horses first. He starts pulling. By the time he has the first pair of shoes off, the floor man should have his tools out and apron on. As soon as the first pair is pulled, he's underneath the trimming. The fitter gets the truck set up, fills his water bucket. Everybody wants the new guy or the young guy to get the truck set up, but you're killing time, you're losing time. And it's not that big a deal. And if they're brand new, they usually put everything in the wrong spot anyways. So, so let the fitter, he's going to be the last one to get to the horses, so let him set up things the way he likes them. And so the floor guy goes to the first horse, pulls the first set of shoes, then goes to the second horse and starts pulling the fronts or hinds, whatever, just do them in pairs. So, okay, now the floor guy has the first pair of feet trimmed. If the fitter is set up and ready and the floor guy is still working, he'll jump on the next one and get the front pair or hind pair, get a pair of feet trimmed. So that just kind of speeds it up a little bit. Well, and he's already got those shoes in the fire if they're reset. And then he'll just go knock out a trim real quick just to kill time. Then come off of the horse, the fitter will come off the horse. By this time, the first pair of feet are done trimmed, and he'll go burn on and lay the shoes behind the horse. And we won't nail on any shoes until all the feet are trimmed, or if the fitter is ahead. If the fitter is ahead, he'll go over there and nail those front shoes on. And you want to keep the pull and finish guy always moving. If he's standing around, you're losing. You're not. I mean, he may be ahead, but you want to keep him always moving. He's the one that's setting the pace. So if any of you guys are starting out, you guys are the pace setters. I mean, if you don't want the fitter yelling at you, at least act busy. Then by the time that the pull and finish guy's got all the shoes pulled, then he starts in and he starts clinching. So if there's nothing for him to do, the fitter could have gone over and nailed on a pair of shoes just to have a job for the finish guy. At least get a pair of shoes done, and that'll save a little bit of time. So, and it works very fast. I found that on a reset, if all 3 horses are a reset, we can have those 3 horses shod in 45 minutes. It's fast, and it's good. It's good work. It's not like it's rushed. I mean, we're just steady. We're not trying to burn through them real fast. And these are all clipped and burned on. They're not cold and just fit cold. Those go even faster. So, but
50 of them a day.
yeah. So, just burned on and clipped is pretty much the standard that we go by. We try to clip every single horse we do, and if they don't burn, we'll take our half rounds and cut the clips in. I believe the clip is an excellent tool. It's like a seatbelt truck. You don't get in your truck without putting your seatbelt on. I don't nail on shoes that don't have a clip, unless they just absolutely disagree with me, and it's easier just to not argue with them and do it. And I just call those my mortgage checks, mortgage paychecks, because if they don't care, I don't care. So I'm just going to do the way that the last guy did it. Dink, dink, nail it on, let's go. It's a paycheck. Those are the ones, I mean, you can't argue with them. You can try and try and try, but they always seem to, they're like, they'll get somebody else. Well, if they're going to pay me full price, okay, it just makes my job easier. So I have a barn I go to every Monday morning, and the guy that was shoeing the horses had been shoeing the horses for 30 years. I mean, it was like a lifetime customer. He'd been doing it, well, he got sick and had a heart attack, and he can't shoe horses anymore. So he knew me, and he knew that I was, you know, a pretty decent farrier, and he recommended me. So I go there, and the lady says, I love the way this guy shoes. I don't want to change anything. Can you replicate the way he shoes? I was like, okay, that's fine with me. I didn't really agree with the way the guy shot him, and so for the first 3 months, I duplicated his shoeing, and then I started slightly making changes where she didn't know, and now I've got them shod the way I like them. But she didn't want them burned on or clips or anything. But at least now I'm shoeing the horses the way that I like them, and she didn't even know the difference. So you might think about that. Next time you get a new customer that's skeptical about your your abilities. Just say, do you like the way that this horse is shod? And if they say yes, then duplicate it, and the next few times just slowly start making those changes to the way that you do like it. Unless it's, pretty detrimental, then, you guys are competent enough to know that, hey, this is not going to work, this is going to hurt the horse. And then that's where you step in and educate the owner. But most owners are set in their ways and they don't want to be educated, but they like advice. So you don't want to come in and say, you're wrong, the horseshoer was wrong, we're going to do it my way. It just makes you look a little conceited. And I think if you can make them feel comfortable and slowly start building confidence in you, and I think you'll have a customer for a while. Who makes the most money shoeing horses? There's three categories. You have the low-end guy, the middle guy, and the high guy. Who makes the most money? The high guy, price-wise, because he's not shoeing as much horses. The middle guy shoes the most horses. He's probably shoeing 9 or 10 a day. And he's usually right around, in my area, the middle guy is getting about $85. And the low guy is about anywhere from $45 to $65. And the high guy is $100 to the limit, whatever. $100 plus is the high end, $100 to $200 in that area. So the high guy is not shoeing as many horses. So one, he doesn't have as big a supply cost. And he doesn't have to drive as much, so he has a lower fuel cost. And he has less phone calls to make. Oh, I love that part. I hate my phone. I hate it with a passion, but you find yourself when you're hurting for money, you start picking up that phone every time. So if you're hurting for money, answer your phones. That's cut and dry. You got to answer your phones.
Do you text?
I text. That's one thing I do now is the best thing ever, texting, because you call that customer and she's like wants to tell you the whole life story of Fluffy.
Oh yeah.
And now you can say, I'm really busy. Can you just send me a text? And from then on, she'll start sending you text, and you're like, when can you come? Hey, that's easy. And it comes right up on the phone, on the screen. At any given time, there's 15 to 20 voicemails on my phone. And in order to get to that last one, I got to listen to all 15 or 20 voicemails, and I just don't have time for that. Not during the day, maybe in the evening times. But if they send me a text that says, when can you come? I'll open my books at my leisure, and then I'll send them one back. I can come Friday at 2. Easy. That's not even a sentence, but it's business, and it's done. It's fast. So anyways, back to the 3 categories of farriers. The low-end guy, he will get all the kickbacks of the middle guy when he goes up on price, because that $5 to $10 is that middle guy. He's pushing that border, and if he goes up 5 or 10, he's probably going to lose maybe 10% of his business. But that's 10% he didn't want anyways. Those horses, he had them, but he will fill those in real quick. The high-end guy, he's not going to get as many calls. He's not going to get as many new customers. But when he does get a new customer, a lot of times he gets them for the long haul because they feel the high-end guy knows more. He charges the most, he must have the most experience. So you might want to think about that. How many of you are married and have kids? How many don't? How many of you are single and have a farrier business? Nobody's single and has a farrier business? Oh, man. A single horseshoer will be the richest guy. He controls the market. He has nothing to lose. He has nothing to lose. When I came into the Austin area, I came in at the same price as everybody else just to build a business. Once I established, 3/4 of a business that I would like to have, I jumped from $65 to $100, and nobody charged $100. That's unheard of. And it created this big mess, big squabble. Everybody was talking about me. Can you believe that guy? But it's like the tabloids. At least they're in the news and they're being talked about. Now their name is burned into their mind. And then after about 6 months, I had a full book of horses at $100, and everybody else is stuck down there at $65. And then they start looking at each other and going, I'm getting on the bandwagon. They went from $65 to $85. That's a $20 jump for them. That's huge. So I brought up that whole group just because I was a single guy and didn't have a family and didn't have as much to lose as they did. So if you guys know a single farrier, you need to tell him, hey, you need to bump up your prices so everybody else can follow suit and bring the whole group up. And then you'll start making more money. So like I say, going up, the high-end horseshoer is not going to lose as much business on a price increase because they're already paying him. You know, if a guy who can drive a Mercedes can pay $75,000 for a car, and he wants to buy the next upgrade of a Mercedes that's $80,000 the next time, that $5,000, and it ain't gonna hurt him. Now, if I was to go buy a new truck, this same truck brand new right now is $20,000 more than what I paid for it, you know, when I bought it brand new. I can't do it. I'm the middle to low guy, and I can't afford that big an increase. So I'm probably gonna have to buy a used truck now. So you see where I'm going with this? The guys who are charging more, their clientele, little changes in fluctuation of price doesn't hurt them as bad as the middle and the low guys. So, and the middle guy is the busiest of them all because he's got more phone calls, more driving, more horses, more supplies, and he's got way more expense. If you don't want to shoe as many horses, go up on price and you won't have to shoe as many and you'll make the same amount of money. And because you're not buying as much supplies, you're not wasting as much time on the phone. So that's the goal, guys. Let's be the high guy in our area. And that way, because y'all are all here, you're trying to improve yourselves to become that. I don't think anybody just wants to be the middle guy and have all this knowledge and not be paid for it. Nobody else is here from your groups that trying to further their knowledge. And I mean, it is about the horse, but we're also businessmen and we're trying to make a living. So.